good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week of the Focus TV. We're joined by Tevye White, Raymond Lyons, and Malik Miller. Welcome to our page. This is season 9, episode 14 of the Focus TV. It's that wonderful time of year. We're kind of in between things, waiting for conference tournaments to get going. The college basketball side of things, that means you're a week away from the big dance. WNBA folks, if you have a season, you're like a month away from that going on. Again, that if we'll see what things look like. Maybe we'll have news report next week. Who knows? NFL folks is combine week. So all you folks are getting ready to get super excited about 40 times and go crazy, even though there's a better measurement of that speed that you all are aware of. But just can't let things go. It's another discussion. We got to take it or leave it. Kind of heavy NBA themed and rapid fire. We'll lean into the combine stuff just a little bit because line season, talking season, all that good stuff. That's it. Ray, we're gonna start with you with the Wizards and the association.
They had 3 games in the past week coming off All-Star break. They beat the Pacers in a home and home back to back, and then they ended the homestand on loss to the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. They had all types of trouble dealing with LaMelo Ball, which has been the norm the past 10 times they played them. The third quarter of that game, LaMelo just went crazy and basically put their lights out, and the Wizards never regrouped. Um, has been some bright spots recently. We pretty much have just conceded the season at this point. We don't have to be coy about what's happening here, but we've been saying on Outlook and on the shows how we're just pretty much looking at the young guys and what they have to offer. They recently signed Alondis Williams to a 10-day, and he's been making the most of it. And last Friday's game against the Pacers, he led the team 25 points, 10 rebounds. So it's just good to see them continuing to come up here and compete. Justin Champagny, his name gets mentioned a lot. Consummate professional. Trey Johnson, we're still looking for him to just kind of continue to adjust to the NBA game and get his feet wet. Um, yeah, man. Star's been out with injury, but yeah, just looking for continuity with these guys and them continuing to round out the games. They're having a little bit of trouble tonight in Atlanta. They're down 35-20 in the second quarter. They just can't throw a rock in the ocean right now. They're 38% from the field as a team, 33% from three, and they've only gotten to the line 3 times. So, yeah, they got to turn around if they want Outlook to be interesting tonight. They also are back in Atlanta tomorrow, Thursday. So they got a little home situation down there as well. So yeah, man, we're just trucking through the rest of the season. Just continue to hope to see development and guys just kind of showing what they got. Looking forward to next year.
Yeah, next year can't come soon enough. I know it's only like 20 some odd games. Man, trying to get through the rest of this and for the all season and whatnot, especially when we see, I can't wait till we get to that back to like that. Every time you go up there is because it's going to be super competitive because folks are playing to achieve something, get in the get the playoff, things of that nature. I'm not even trying to be funny, just miss it, like for sure. It's been a last couple of years been a little rough. On to the college basketball side of things, though. Maryland women's basketball. Let me get that up on the screen for y'all real quick. It was senior day this past week, so senior day also fell on National Girls and Women's in Sports Day this past Sunday. The Terps hosted the Purdue Boilermakers. Maryland would use a big second quarter to blow the game open, and they wouldn't relinquish that control in the second half whatsoever. It looked a little different as they didn't have their normal edge on the glass, but they found a way to celebrate senior day with a 99-66 win over the Boilermakers. Purdue was led by Kiki Smith's 19 points and 3 rebounds. Nia Smith added 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Lena McCarthy finished with 8 points and 6 boards. Maryland was led by Aluchi Akanoa's 26 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. Kendall Walker scored a career high 18 points, She also had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals in this one. Addie Mack finished with 14 points and a block, while Mary McLean and Sarah Poppenberger added 11 points apiece. Sarah had 9 rebounds and 4 assists. Rainey Wilson chipped in with 11 off the bench as well. Maryland got off to an 8-2 start, which you guys saw a little bit earlier, doing what they do best, creating offense through their defense. Purdue countered that with the early run from the Terps by scoring inside as Lena McCarthy provided some stability to the Boilermakers. I told you all she had 8 points. All 6 of them came in that first quarter when Purdue kind of tried to settle down and get back into this one. Um, the Terps would lead 22-17 after one because of the scoring of O'Connell and Walker. Both of those young ladies scored 9 points apiece in the opening quarter to pace Maryland. That meant they accounted for 18 of Maryland's 22 points came from Aluchi Okanawa and Kendall Walker in that first quarter. With Ozzy Mamadou out, Freeze was trying to find answers to deal with McCarthy inside, and Maria Boyko provided a slight reprieve with her height. But with the difference in mass, Boyko used her athleticism and left. She did a good job just fronting and fighting with Purdue senior big. Sarah Poppenberger woke up in the second quarter. She scored all 11 of her points in the second. That's when Maryland blew that game wide open. She pulled down 4 rebounds in that period as well. Alucci didn't score 9 in the first quarter. It was just 7. She didn't shoot it as well as she did in the first quarter, but she didn't miss a shot. But Maryland really got the run in. They used a 15-3 run midway through that quarter, essentially open the game, control it, and they're able to coach from there. Addie Mack was fouled with 0.110 seconds of left on the clock in the first half. So any coaches watching, I know the sound of that hurts. You can see Purdue's coach go through it. Like just what are y'all doing at that moment? We're trying to get to the half. It was on a broken play. Kendall Walker got the rebound in traffic. She's racing up court, lost the handle, and pops into Addie Mack's hand. And Addie just launches it because she saw somebody running at her, which credit to the freshman. If I look like I'm about to get hit, I might as well make sure I'm in the motion shooting the ball, and she was. She had all 3 free throws, and Maryland went into the half. 51-32. The Terps shot 54% from the floor, 56 from deep in the first half. Outside of their turnovers, the offense was clicking. They did miss Ozzy Mamadou, and you can go over to our channel, check out the full recap. One of the great details of what they were missing in her absence because her presence alone. Sometimes you really don't get how big a player's impact is until you miss him for a couple games. You saw that early in this one. Maryland, that 8-2 run at the start of the game probably could have been 18-2 if they were able to get defensive rebounds on those possessions. You take away those second chance opportunities. Purdue's not able to slow the game, like get back into the game enough to slow down that Maryland run. Maryland's just running. But credit to them. A couple weeks ago, I was on here talking about that 4 game losing streak they had. That looks like how quickly a month changes things, right? They got one more game at home. They have 2 games total before the Big Ten tournament, which takes place. That's crazy. Next week, we're in March. We're pretty much in March this week. The conference tournaments get going next week. This season has really flown by. As I said, we're in that time of year where it's extended sessions and take it or leave it and rapid fire. So, um, all right, y'all, we're going to start with the NBA and take it or leave it. NFL will be rapid fire. Let me go ahead and get this up for you guys real quick. Don't know if y'all knew but the Pistons and the Spurs played last night. If you weren't watching, I don't know what to tell you, but like actual good basketball was on last night. That's your choice. Just thought it was my duty to let you guys know. We saw a heavyweight matchup last night between 2 young teams at or near the top of their respective conferences. The Spurs beat the Pistons 114 to 103 in Detroit. It was clear the Pistons wanted to impose their will through their physicality. The Spurs, met them there in their own way and left with the win. Take it or leave it. The Spurs are fine with teams that want to be physical with them, as in the sense that, oh, if you get physical with them, it's fine. Like, you won. Like they're that sweet or soft. Which I don't know why people are saying that. I'm just presenting it to you guys. All right. So Malik, we'll start with you. Take it or leave it. That the Spurs have no issue with people that want to be a tad bit more aggressive or overly physical. That they are, in fact, with the you know what.
That they do have an issue with, or that they don't have an issue with the physicality.
That they're fine with it. That they
Oh, yeah, yeah, I take it. It's only a few teams that can get as physical with them that can make them rattled. The Detroit Pistons being one of those teams, the Thunder being another one of those teams, but all those teams, regardless, are NBA Finals contenders. So, and that's vice versa. The Spurs being physical with the Pistons, the Spurs being physical with the Thunder. The top of the on the other side, you can't really say the Knicks they're a top team, but are they a top contender? I don't think so. They've never gotten over that hump. They can never kill those guys. But being physical with that team would value and show the same thing. Now, when regards to the teams that in this conversation, they are going to have to figure out some things because when teams do get physical with Victor Wemby, some teams he just still rises over top of them, but other times they move him out. So they'll use that game plan as well as matching their physicality. They'll have to figure something out in the playoffs. But that's the playoffs. 7 games wins a series, and the Pistons. That's one team you have to beat them per game. That's not going to be a. That's not going to be a easy series. The Celtics, another team they will have to see in the finals if possible. Jason Tatum comes back. That wouldn't be an easy matchup either. Just per game, one game by game. So the physicality throughout the whole league, no, that's not a problem. But the team they're in that conversation with, they got to bring their best, and the other team got to bring theirs as well. So I take it.
all right, I say you take it or leave it.
I hate always being in the middle, but I'm kind of in the middle just because watching the game last night, I don't think the Spurs have big issues with physicality. I think there are potential for issues with physicality, and it's not so much just the physicality, but the mental aspect of it. You can see it some of them start to kind of get in their head. Some of them start to get a little bit out of character. The situation, I think it was Keldon Johnson, that was kind of a little bit out of character for them. Wemby, I think, only had 7 points in the first half due to some of the physicality as well. So I think if they keep their heads on straight, like I believe their coach stated before the game came, like that was their goal, to not let Detroit get in their heads, to not let them get upset, to not let them get out of their character of their game. So if they're able to do that, they're able to do what they did last night, which was pull away and win the game. But I do think it is of note to know that the biggest irritant of them all did not play in this game, with that being Isaiah Stewart. We know how much he gets under people's skin. So, and I think going into this season, we didn't foresee these two teams being where they are this quote unquote quickly. So I think they said the fact that this game was on a Monday night, like you won't see this on a Monday night anymore. This is going to be a prime time weekend, Saturday, Sunday game, with the way that these two teams are playing. So I don't think, like Malik said, like there are many teams that can really do that. I think more so it's the Spurs just staying out of their own way in regards to that and just keeping their head, not letting not just the physicality of it, but the fact that they are being physical with them, get them out of their character of their game, where now they want to fight. Like, I don't know if you want to fight the Pistons, but you could probably beat them if you just play the game. So I think if they're able to keep their heads about them, the physicality itself won't bother them because they can be just as physical back. I think Wemby had 6 blocks in this game. But again, like I said, it's definitely worth noting that the irritant of Isaiah Stewart was not in this game. So I'd be interested to see how that goes the next time.
Ray, take it or leave it.
I'm gonna take it. I think they're fine with it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely got a little chippy last night, but that's probably, excuse me, it's probably the first time I've seen them get anything close to rattled when teams, try to take the game that way. Like they got the size. I think the smallest person in their rotation is De'Aaron Fox, and he's like 6'3". So I mean, good luck. But yeah, man, I think they're fine. And yeah, that's going to be the thing that people lean to even begin to try to bother Wemby. And no, I feel like he's here for it. He knows that's what people are going to do, and he's preparing for that, and he's gotten better with dealing with it since he's been in the league. So yeah, as long as he's leading that charge, then they're going to be good.
Yeah, I get where people are coming from with it because obviously you can you want to look for something, some type of edge, right? So I get it. Like in theory, I just think it's overblown and a little bit lazy. Like, do y'all realize how big Castle and Harper are? Like they're with the shits. Like those those two little baby guards are huge. Kate Cunningham bullies most of the guards in the league. He did not have fun last night. He didn't enjoy it. Like he was hitting Castle. Castle just eating the hits and like, oh, you going up? Let me contest that. Usually, Cade hits somebody a couple times. They're like 5 feet that way, and he's finishing and laughing and screaming like, nah, they're with it. Even Devin Vassell, who gets left out of the conversation, he was perfectly fine. I think the difference is, I get it. I think like the Pistons physicality shows up a little bit more, and I think maybe people overlook the Spurs physicality because we see more because they're what's a nice way to say it? They're a little bit more skilled in San Antonio. There's physicality there, but you got Devin Vassell running off ball, knocking down open shots. So we're not going to look at him as a physical player per se, but that's another one of those between 6'5" and 6'6" guards that's well put together. That is a big dude. The podcast was big dude. Dylan Harper, big dude. That's the reason they've had success against OKC because OKC wants to play like that too. Except the Spurs little kids are bigger than OKC's players
A little bit
that
more
play like
skill.
that. And so like I think because not we, but I think because people see skill, they ignore that part. Like, nah, they're with it. Like, bro, it's Ron Harper's kids. You think they ain't never been hit? Like ever? You think Ron Harper was like, you know what? It just happened. You'll meet physicality when you meet it. Really? That's what you think? You got Ant and Castle from the same state. They both look like football players that happen to dribble a basketball. Ah man, they with it. And with the Wemby thing is it's funny to me because it's like y'all think this is the first time people look for the right way to do is beat him up. Like at some point he's gonna be able to fight back. Then what happens? Where that stuff doesn't matter. Like, that's what I'm concerned about. What happens when you hit him and he doesn't feel it, and it turns into Godzilla King Kong type attitude? But I loved watching those two young teams play. I look forward to seeing them in the future. But another one we got Kevin Durant, and no, it's not for what y'all think it is. I'm not even messing with that maturity and whatnot. The all-time leading scorer for the United States men's basketball team told ESPN earlier this month that he does plan on returning for another run of international play in 2028. The 37-year-old swingman, who has won an Olympic record fourth gold medal at the 2024 Games, disputed the notion that Paris was the last run. That narrative, where did that last dance thing come from? We all knew, but Katie wanted to ask. I didn't say I wasn't playing. LeBron said he wasn't. You didn't hear that from me or Steph. Hell yeah, I want to play, but I've got to stay on top of my game. I'm not expecting it. I want to produce on the floor, make Grant Hill, and whoever's making the decision wants to put me on the team, not just for seniority. I want to still prove I can help the team win. Today, yeah, I feel like I put my name in the hat. Take it or leave it. Katie earns a spot on the 2028 roster. Great.
Uh, I mean, if he says he wants to play, then he's playing. So I don't even understand why there's people having a conversation about this. Why he would want to play, I don't know. He's what is this 2028? He's going to be 40 by then.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, but I mean, if he feels his body's up to it, then of course he's going to play. That's not a question. So since he's saying he wants to play, I think we have no choice but to take it.
He says he wants to earn it. Oh, right. He just said, nah, if he said he playing, he playing. I'll take it. Take it or leave
Yeah, I'm taking it too. It's the same thing. Katie says he wants to play. He wants to play, and he's going to make the team. He can say the politically correct thing on or off of a burner that he wants to earn it. But I mean, he's Kevin Durant. He's the all-time leading scorer in the Olympics. Like, if he wants to play in the Olympics at 40, we've seen what LeBron is doing at 40, 41. I foresee as long as he stays healthy. Of course, we know that I feel like he's had more dire injuries than LeBron has had over his career. So as long as he's healthy within these next 2 years, he'll play regardless if he's out there on a cane. Like he'll be there. Like I appreciate him trying to give us an option and trying to make it seem like, I want to do certain things because that's the right thing to say. You want to go out there. You don't want to just go out there off of your name, but your name's KD, so you're going to be there. So I expect to see him in 2028. Especially, I think it's heightened because, of course, the Olympics is inside of the United States. It's definitely heightened in that aspect as well. So any player that can relatively really get themselves to play, like I think if LeBron was a couple of years younger, he probably would be out there as well. But like you said, could KD would be 40 by then, LeBron would be pushing 45. I don't know about that. Um, Even though he has a late birthday like me, so maybe 44. But yeah, he'll be there. So we'll see him in 2028.
Malik, you taking it as well.
Yeah, I think everybody's like, like they're just forcefully taking it, like, just because. But like, I'm taking it because nobody's taking his jersey. Like nobody, there's none of the guys when it comes to the roster spots that's open. Like none of the guys that was on the team, none of the guys that are trying to get on the team are stopping him talent wise from being on the team. It's 15 spots. Everyone on the team doesn't play in general anyway. So even if he's Kevin Durant is better than that 15th guy on every Team USA roster. At 40, however old he's going to be, he's going to be better than that 15th guy on all those rosters forever for historically Team USA. And this you can at best only argue. Like you can't even argue 15 guys making a team without him. So I take it because he's talented, not because the other stuff, but because 15 guys don't deserve to play for Team USA more than he does.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Why not go be Uncle KD out there with some of your kids, with Chad, Coop, Kate, the rest of them? Why not? Uncle KD want to go get his fifth gold medal. Why not? Melo was doing the Captain America thing for a minute over there, regardless of what was happening in his NBA career. He's going crazy in FIBA, putting up numbers. So why not, right? All right. So staying NBA still, not leaving yet. Yas man's Adam Silver. We've been seeing some. It's even crazy. We're having a discussion. So apparently, we've seen tanking, and then shout out to some of the folks this year who found a way to tank unethically. I don't know how you did it, but they found a new way to tank where you end up messing with the integrity of the game. Utah Jazz talking about you. Commissioner Adam Silver informed the league's 30 general managers Thursday, this last Thursday, mind you, that the NBA plans to make anti-taking rule changes for next season. Sources with knowledge of Thursday's meeting, as well as late January competition committee meeting, told ESPN that these concepts have been discussed to curb tanking. This is what has been discussed. We'll find out, obviously, over time what's legit, what ends up being enacted. First round draft picks can be protected only top four or top 14, no top eight anymore, which Lord would have changed things this year, right? If that was already enacted. No top no top eight. It'd be top four, top 14. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. Love that. So even if so technically you could kind of like tank and then hoop afterwards if it counts. So I don't know because I feel like that's too much leeway. Somebody gonna do something wrong. Like we just saw how people are acting this year. I feel like don't do that one. That's a no. But either way, no longer allowing a team to pick in the top four consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom three finishes. Teams can't pick in the top four the year after making the conference finals. Sheesh. Lottery odds allocated based on 2 year records. I love that. Flattened lottery extended to include all playing teams. Yeah, I got nothing for that. Flying odds for all lottery teams. So take it or leave it. If the above items are enacted, we shouldn't see the type of disgraceful taking that we've seen this year where people are leading by double digits in games and just start sitting people to avoid career highs as if they have money on it. But no, it's not money they're manipulating the game for. It's ping pong balls. Malik, we'll start with you.
I take it that he's trying. He's trying. Adam Silver and they're in there trying to crunch those numbers, sort those concepts up every day of how to stop this. So this is a step. This is a big step because it's the first step. Other than just finding people, they have money. Everybody has money. You can't just. You got to find a way to figure it out. And with the 2-year system, I like it. It was a lot to digest there, but he's putting out some rules. He's throwing out the rod, trying to see, how it baits, how it operates. So I'm about that. Not being able to get a top pick, following what was that, conference championship or NBA
Yeah,
finals?
so if you make a conference finals, you can
You can't get a top four.
Yep, you can't pick in the top four.
Yeah, and it's just the top four. It's a whole 2 rounds. You have a whole 2 rounds. And top 4 guys for the NBA, they want all the money spread out. They want, top 4 guys need to go to places where they need it, man. Yeah. So they're trying something. I like what they got going on. And I definitely agree with you there that a lot of guys are not touching career highs and doing XYZs because they're just getting sat down. And they're not playing competitive games and things like that. Some teams just aren't trying. You just really go out there and think just some teams are not trying today. And they don't. Yeah, take it.
Octavia.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it for the same reason. I first off want to say it's sad that we've gotten to this place. I mean, the teams of the 90s, I don't remember that being a thing, but maybe I was too young. I don't know. Maybe I should go watch a YouTube video and see if there were teams tanking in the 90s. But it's sad that we're at that point, but you have to do everything you can to combat it and protect the integrity of the game. It's unfortunate he has to come up with these half baked, crazy type of things in order to get people to play the game that they're being paid millions of dollars to play. And granted, we know that it's not just the players; it's the franchises, it's the coaches that are making these decisions for the players as well. So it's everybody as a whole. So I appreciate them trying things. I definitely agree with the back to back years, the top 4 picks just it kills me every time. Like it's like the same teams get the same ones, and then they're there for 2 years and move on, and it's never it just hasn't shown any type of fruition. So I like everything. Like Malik also said, it was a lot to digest to figure out exactly how things would play out. But one thing I've learned at my job at work is that there's these things called test and learns. We're going to have to test it and learn. So we're going to have to put it out there, see how it goes. And I think Adam Silver has done a great job with tweaking things as it needs to be done. So this is like Malik said, the first step in the direction of trying to combat it. And I would assume there are still going to be tweaks as time goes on, because the only other thing that scares me is just like we just said, people are just blatantly doing it now. I think I think they're still going to figure out some type of way to do something. That's the crazy thing behind it. So I'm sure they're going to have to continuously tweak this as it goes until it really gets ingrained in people's brain that they're not playing when it comes to this. So I'm hopeful for it because it's only going to make the league better.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. It's like Xavier said, it's just annoying that we even have to sit here and go through this. Yeah, and like also like she said, people gonna find a way to game the system no matter what. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see, but yeah, something's got to give, man. Because it's like a lot of time is being wasted with teams doing this, and it's honestly frustrating because it doesn't have to be this way. You can you can tank with integrity. Like it's possible. We've seen it before. Like if you're in a position where you feel like you need to do this, then 9 times out of 10 your team ain't that good anyway. So just play. Try to be competent and let the chips fall where they may. But all this other stuff, and how many teams that have done this have actually gotten good from it? So yeah, man, it's just a exercise in futility. But I'm at least they're not being dishonest about it anymore. Like we all see what's going on, and they gave teams an inch and they took a mile, and now we're here. So good luck to them.
Yeah, it's hilarious and just sad. But I'm actually kind of mad about the conference finals thing. So like, if you get to the conference final and somebody trash is dumb enough to give you a pick, why do I got to be penalized because they don't know what they're doing?
Oh,
I got to the conference finals. Like whoever came up with that, y'all just mad at the Thunder because they got you. That's on you. Like that's beyond. That is somebody who got. So you're gonna punish the team who got to the conference finals?
yeah.
That's not their fault. So that means to tell me you gave up your pick while you're bad to a team who's doing good because they ended up in conference. You don't accidentally end up in the conference finals, and then they got to be punished for it. That's kind of crazy to me. But last but not least, and take it or leave it, Cade Cunningham is averaging 25.3 points a game, 5.8 rebounds a game, 9 point assists, and 1.5 steals. He's also right under a block a game at 0.9. Even with last night's loss to the Spurs, Detroit is still 5 games up on the Celtics to lead the Eastern Conference with a record of 42-14. Take it or leave it, should Cade Cunningham be getting serious, uh, be taken as a serious candidate for MVP honors? Ray, we'll start with you.
Absolutely, he should. Uh, he's on the number one team in the conference. You just read out the numbers, and he's the driving force behind his success. Any other year in the league, somebody's doing this, they're in MVP talks. I don't think it's any way around it. So, yeah, he should be in that discussion for sure.
Octavia.
Yep, short and sweet to the answer. Like Ray said, you're the number one team in the conference, and you are the number one player on that team. You are the most valuable player on that team, and your team is the top in the conference within the NBA. So there's only two of that for each conference. So yeah, it's a no-brainer to me. He should definitely be in the conversation. I think a lot of times people are still, I don't want to say hung up on, but you're still looking for the Jokic's, the SGAs, and people are hanging on to that. And not saying that those players aren't playing well, but he's playing just as good, if not better, and their team is number one. And we know SGA's been out with some injuries, and as well as Jokic. I will be interested to see how many more games both of them can miss to even still be in the conversation to win. Because I don't think we've seen Shea for a good amount of time now. So I'll be interested to see how many more games he has to go. But yeah, he definitely should be in there. There's no question about it. And anybody who thinks differently is just not watching the games.
Malik, take it or leave it, Cade. Serious, the serious contender for MVP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I take it. It's nothing new to say that Octavia and Ray haven't said, especially with the restrictions with how many games you can miss, the elevation of basketball that he's playing. There hasn't been. It's not like a team this year got a superstar and then that team is just hooping crazy on everybody. These are the same guys he's had, and he's just playing. I'm sorry. He's playing at such an elevated level that he's in this conversation now. It's not like someone around. It's a Batman Robin thing. He's the captain, and they're underneath him, and they come to work, and he works. And in that conference, on that side in the East, it's not too many killers over there as compared to the West. So, but he works. Top one, top two in the conference, like Octavia said. That best player on that team, that's two of the names right there. And then there's four. Then it turns into the bottom. The next 5 to 7 in that conversation are just guys probably on seeds. There's probably one guy in the middle, a Jalen. And this year, because of the game restriction type of thing, Jalen Brown's also a name that's been killing without his Batman, or people said it was his Batman. So, this game restriction thing relating to rewards and awards are going to be definitely something to see on the back end of the year. I take it.
Yep, I'm with you guys. Like Ray said, the numbers speak for themselves. Y'all not watching Detroit. I don't know what to tell y'all. Last night was your first time watching them. People don't typically do that to him. He usually has his way. But again, he's the reason. This is why the Titan crap is crazy because if you do right, look at where the Pistons are. They took K, they kept building, and they kept building. They're everyone was going in this year talking about it's a wide open year. Who's been up top the East Conference almost all year? Freaking Pistons in a wide open year, like consistently. They was like, oh, it's open, nah, it's ours. And if for the most part, everybody's waiting for them to kind of like come back down to earth or whatever. And they they not trying to get caught. They said they want everybody to come through the D the rest of the way through the Eastern Conference, which is hell. So it's always good to have the Pistons back. Before we get to rapid fire though, real quick, NBA draft spotlight started that segment last week. Cardell isn't here, but I'm gonna go ahead and fill in with this week and get this gentleman up on the screen real quick because I'll give him the full screen treatment real quick. There we go. Um, so this week's NBA draft spotlight. The player is Flory Badunga, Kansas, big 6'10", 235. He's an explosive, athletic big who impacts both ends of the floor. He moves exceptionally well for his size, shows quick reactions, and thrives as a rim protector, altering shots and anchoring defense with timing and length that stand out. And one of the things with when we're talking about this, a couple years ago, Carter was screaming like, like the British were coming back and they were screaming that the bigs are coming. And for the last 4 or 5 years, year after year, we seeing more and more of them pop up, right? And this is yet another guy. Ray, we've had those conversations on Outlook or what, we feel like the Wizards may need or what have you. And year after year, they just keep putting more bigs get flooded into the draft pool year after year. Looks like this is yet another one. But offensively, he's a ferocious finisher around the basket. He powers through contact on lobs and dunks and consistently eats defenders down the floor as a rim runner in transition. We see him right here following this play up. Big fella's definitely moving. I've begun to also show strong rebounding instincts, tracking the ball and using his strength and IQ to control the glass. Areas to improve include adding consistent floor spacing. That's something, all bigs kind of need at this time. Earlier in doing Wizards pregame, we've seen that happen. Great examples as Nyeka Kongwu on the Hawks. He's made strides every year, but he came in as a rim protected big, and he is now shooting 38% from deep. We're not saying that Bethune is going to end up in that place, but that's an example of something you can do. Right there, catching a body on that lob is crazy. It's, you still get paid doing this stuff as a big man. There's so much value in this. Um, Also, exercising foul discipline and continue to build strength to handle NBA caliber bigs without sacrificing mobility, which is a challenge in itself. We've seen so many bigs over the years when it's time to put on weight. Some folks don't put it on the right way, maybe a little too fast, maybe not evenly, and we've seen it destroy careers. But with continued skill development, Dunga has the tools to become a highly productive two-way player. And again, these are the type of pieces when you're talking about your OKCs, your San Antonios, things of that nature. This is how they continue and stay in the step ahead of folks. The Celtics, again, teams that while people ignore things like this, oh, he's a bit raw, whatever. And you come in right now, help anchor your defense. Then eventually the offense rolls out, and he's a lefty. Nothing wrong with that. The offense fills out, and you got a whole problem on your hands. And Ray knows in this apron era of the league, having productive young players on cost control contracts goes a long way. It is imperative that folks draft correctly. So again, this was Flory doing the Kansas big man, 6'10", 235-pound sophomore on this week's NBA spotlight. He goes going to clean that up right there. Um, but we will move right back on schedule back on to rapid fire. And again, rapid fire is a little bit more NFL. Octavia, I apologize in advance. You know where we starting at. It's not my fault.
I'm so tired of talking about this.
Hey man, I didn't do it. But y'all keep jumping out here. All I could do, is talk about it. I didn't do it. Howie, you see Howie not talking. The other guy keep talking. So what am I supposed to do? Coach Nick Sirianni indicated there was mutual interest between receiver AJ Brown and the team, continuing his career with the Eagles, but neither he nor general manager Howie Roseman committed to Brown suiting up for the next season. Oh, yeah, my expectation is he wants to be here, and obviously you want good players like that in your building. I can't guarantee how anything's going to play out in the next season. I can't guarantee that. I mean, I think I'm going to be the head coach. I think I'm going to be the head coach, but it's like you can't guarantee anything past tomorrow. Like Howie said, right? Everybody, it's hard to get good players in this league. AJ's a great player. AJ's a good teammate. AJ's a good person. So, like I said earlier, does he want to be here? Yes. Do I want him to be here? Yes. So, hopefully that works. Brown has been the subject of trade speculation this offseason following the 2025 campaign in which he openly expressed his frustration with the offensive operation several times. Do you expect AJ to be an Eagle next season? Malik, we'll start with you.
I do. I was somebody that led the way and said the offensive coordinator was the problem. If he goes for 1,000 yards this year, if he goes for 1,200 yards this year, when we look back at it in 10 years, whether he goes or stays after this year, it's still going to be those numbers on that piece of paper, and he's still going to be that guy. Do they maybe want to trade him? Absolutely. Are they going to get the value for an AJ Brown type of guy? Wide receivers are a dime a dozen. AJ Brown's not. So you have to get at least 1.5 amount of bodies that suits him. And draft picks isn't going to trading AJ Brown and just receiving a regular guy and a load of draft picks isn't enough. Unless you're sending him somewhere far where they're never going to win. But yeah, you can't send him anywhere to a competitor and not you need a Pro Bowler, because that's what he is. He's a team changer. And whether they like the attitude or not, and it's going to get better because they have a new offense coordinator. They need him there.
Ray.
Yeah, I just did a lot of reading between the lines from all them statements, and it basically said, bro, need to lower his expectations if you want to be here next year. That's pretty much what I got from it. So, yeah, I don't know. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on him sticking around, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there either.
Last but not least, the resident Eagles fan. Octavia.
I am so freaking tired of this story. So freaking tired of it. To the point where I had to go look up. AJ Brown is currently under contract with the Philadelphia Eagles through the 2029 season.
Mm-hmm.
Are we in 2029 yet? No. So he is currently on the Philadelphia Eagles. What I want my coach, and I know a lot of people are very indifferent about Nick Sirianni. I like Nick Sirianni. I really do. I do. I am probably one of the minority. I just need them to stop trolling. To me, all of this is just a bunch of trolling. AJ Brown was on the podcast with Gronk and Julian Edelman, and he talked about we're all patriots and AJ winking. Like, that's all they troll all year long. Like, that's all this is. The fact that Nick Sirianni says, like, I think I'm going to be the coach this year. Sir, do you think you would still be here if you weren't going to be the coach this year? Do you think that they would be going into the week of the combine with you if you're not going to be the coach this year? So that's why I'm like, it's a bunch of trolling. Yes, could it happen? Crazier things have happened, so I don't put stock in a lot of things. But Howie Roseman is smart. I believe that there is a lot of discussions probably, and like Malik said, I've said the same thing. It was the offensive coordinator. There's just so much, and I mean, the talk shows don't make it any better. If I get one more alert from ESPN about trade packages for AJ Brown, is going to drive me insane. I think one of them said, well, they can take Mike Evans. You mean the broken Mike Evans? He's been broken the last 2 years. We don't need, like, stop it. Stop. Like, just stop. For all my money, again, AJ Brown is under contract with the Philadelphia Eagles through the 2029 season, having signed a 3-year, $96 million extension in April of 2024. That man not going nowhere. In my humble opinion. Now, if somebody, like we talked about in the past, bad teams do bad things. If somebody is giving up the farm, then maybe there are discussions. Like if there is, but it's got to be like we talked, like Malik said. I'm not talking about draft picks. I'm talking about we getting Justin Jefferson, Chase, Jamar Chase, shoot, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like you got to be doing something. If not, AJ, get ready for camp, and I will see you in the fall. I don't want to talk about it.
I think Mike Vrabel's finna enter the chat. Think he about to come get his man's back once the band back together.
No,
They
sir.
got 11. Hey,
This
look,
is
they
not
got
Tennessee 15, however many years ago it was. We are not
hey,
there. And
they got 11 picks.
Tennessee's GM.
Hey, they said they got 11 picks, and they're willing to do whatever they got to do to get AJ back.
Stephon Diggs ain't moving me neither, so absolutely not. Stephon
The
Diggs,
picks they said. They had like 3-4 picks.
Tom Booty, whoever else is out there, they not moving me neither. So absolutely not.
All right, so
Write a letter.
from one NFC East team to another, Ray, we touched on this like I think last week or the week before, but one of the Joneses got to talking again, man. So
They all.
I apologize. I'm sorry. Before we talk about would they or won't they, and then somebody wanted to go answer it. So this is what's being said. The Dallas Cowboys are leaning toward using the franchise tag on wide receiver George Pickens, said Executive Vice President Stephen Jones. It can go either way. So we'll just continue to really analyze the situation and see what's next. In the past, we've done deals with top players and it's happened in a hurry. But at the end of the day, every agent's different, what they're trying to accomplish, the way they look at their strategy and what they're about. Those are all things that we're looking at. So we'll make decisions based on where we ultimately come down. I mean, obviously, what we need to get accomplished on the defensive side of the ball is going to affect a lot of things. It'll be a work in progress. Just a reminder, the deadline for teams to use a franchise or transition tag is next Tuesday, with free agency beginning the week after. So will Dallas actually let Pickens hit free agency and not franchise tag him? Like we saw the Falcons, we really don't do anything right. They franchise count Pitts in like 2 seconds. It was like, no, I don't know. Even if we fail this offseason, you here. So Ray, we'll start with you and then work our way back down, man. Your thoughts on Mr. Jones and his wonderful comments to this potential situation.
Um, they're probably going to franchise him. I don't even understand why we're here. I don't understand why teams do this. Lock these people up, man, because you franchise them and then you're going to be right back here next year. And the only way this benefits you, and it really won't benefit you, is if he doesn't have a good year. Like, so just sign him now. Don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about him being disgruntled, and you don't have to bank on your best receiver not performing, so you can be in a powerful position come negotiations next year. It just never makes sense to me. I don't see the purpose of it. If a guy goes out there and produces, he needs to be rewarded for it, and you really don't have a choice. But you know, do your thing, man. It's why you haven't won a playoff game since I was in middle school.
I tell you.
Yeah, the sad thing about it is everything that Ray said sounds too much right for the Dallas Cowboys. It sounds like for most of the time, like the right thing to do just always seems to elude them for whatever reason. I think we know the reason. It's money, clicks, people in the seats, the $1 billion franchise of it, not the actual football team. I don't know. Again, it sounded slightly trollerish again with Stephen Jones. well, we might do this. I mean, you just now. Granted, I know the amount of money is different. You just re-signed Javonte Williams. You got that done, but you can't make a decision on arguably the best player on your team this past year. Now, I get it. He's had character issues in the past, but you can really only look forward and look at the player that he was for you this last year and what you project him to be. Um, and then do you really want to see him come back and play against you? Because there are teams within this division that would kill for him. I'm sure. Could you imagine? And I'm not putting this out in the atmosphere, but could you imagine if he ended up in New York with Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors? Like, I don't want to see that. Like, get it together. But it just sounds too much right. It sounds like it's going to be another one of the long, drawn out sagas over the summer where we've seen with the likes of Dak, CD. We know the Micah situation of it all. Take it all the way back to Ezekiel, who had to go to Cancun to get his deal done. So I'm not surprised. Um, I do think they'll probably will franchise tag him. I don't know if he'll be happy about it. I think they said if he gets franchised, he'll be in the ballpark of like 28 mil or something like that. So I mean, give me 28 mil, I'll take it, but I'm not George Pickens. Um, so I'm just sitting back, gonna pop my popcorn and just wait for the show because I know what's gonna happen.
Malik, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the Cowboys just doing another thing that the Cowboys do. Like Ray said, the only thing that they're waiting for, because they're a business, at the end of the day, they're a business. So they just want to make money. Some businesses, at the end of the day, some businessmen are trying to win Super Bowls, and some businessmen are actively not trying to win Super Bowls. The Cowboys are actively not trying to win a Super Bowl. And that's okay, because Jerry Jones still in power in his head. The money is circular. It's still going in and out for him. So why do we have to pay a receiver? And he knows they're not going to win. Like, but and that's just the name of the sad game. He knows he's going to pay him something. But it really, the plus minus there, just like everybody said, it's just something that the Cowboys do. The plus minus isn't there for the potential gains, the potential loss here. Because if another receiver gets a super bonus deal, probably about I'm not sure how many receivers are going to get a deal in the next year, but probably 5 or 6 of them are in the ballpark smelling of they shouldn't deserve the money that CeeDee Lamb gets, and they're going to get it, and then that market is going to get boosted again. So you got to lock these guys down early because that reconstruction contract, those extensions, get very hefty.
And that's why AJ Brown is signed through 2029.
Yeah.
And Devontae, they took care of that. Like, you got to pay him anyway. Like, it's crazy, but I just think it's the what they call it, the soap opera.
Look, man, I just didn't think we were going to be in a place and heading towards free agency where the Falcons franchised their guy before the Cowboys did. Because even with the Cowboys, like, they love the franchise tag. So, like, what are you dragging your feet for? Unless, like, there's other reasons. But again, like, you're really going to potentially let a 24-year-old wide receiver one hit the open market. And as Octavia said, like, there's so many horrible places he can end up, Jerry. Like, that could just ruin things for you.
Let him get to Kansas City.
Like, I was just even talking about the division. Like, you brought up Jackson Dart. Jada Daniels ain't had nobody like that to throw to.
He can go anywhere in the division and
Like,
be amazing.
that he go anywhere in the league and just shift things. So,
Yeah.
simply saying, like, if you're a team that had a first, like, and this is the thing that's crazy, like, even if you franchise tag him, like, to me, that's not safe. The safest thing to me is paying him. So you could go in the draft, right? Right. So, like, get this. He's still young enough. There's gonna be draft picks that are within a year of his age coming out this year.
Yeah. You got the money. God.
This is the thing that's crazy. Like, you can mess around. You're gonna find a team that got time and resources. Be like, What's that tag cost? Oh, here. And then you're gonna get a couple picks. Not and don't know what to do with the picks. Burn the picks. And somebody got George Pickens for his going rate because you was out here tripping. So I'm just here to watch the world burn. Just hopefully if you do that, Dallas, keep it out the NFC West. I don't need to see that. I don't,
Look,
I don't need to see that
get him
headache.
off NFC East then if y'all want
Nah,
to.
no. He deserves to stay there. Like stay there and just watch him. We got to see him twice a
Put
year.
him back to Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin going, I don't know.
Nah, he need to stay right there. All right, last but not least, we'll get this up on the screen real quick. Chase Daniel had this to say, which I think is a little interesting. Give me a second. This full screen for everybody. Now, y'all let me know if y'all can hear it to make sure. But obviously, it's combine week, and this is him, the former quarterback. He's talking about. I'm gonna let him get to it. Share what he was talking
The
about.
throwing part of the combine is so dumb because you're throwing to combine receivers. So there can be one guy from every college that you've never thrown to in your entire life. And you're supposed to throw an out route at 10 yards, but oh, wait, this guy broke it at 8. This guy broke it at 12. You're supposed to go 5, no hitch with a throw. I do not think it should be used. I don't think, and I've talked to many coaches, yes, it allows you to see the ball come off of their hands. It is the dumbest thing. And quite honestly, a lot of teams put no stock in it. Like there might be, here's my thing. You can't, and I don't care what anyone coach says. You can't move up in the draft and you can't move down in the draft based on 10 throws that you're going under center. They want you to back out still sometimes, throwing to your left. I don't think that matters at all. So I think throwing at the combine is completely dumb. I think that it could only hurt you maybe. And then if you're doing that, why not go at your pro day? If someone's really interested in you, then do it. And then I know what people are going to say. Well, you're not a competitor. You don't want to go out there and throw. And that's such a crock of crap, dude. No. Like, look, I threw because I had an undrafted grade and I wanted to do it. And I completed every pass. Were they perfect throws? No. But it still is a way for these coaches, I guess, to see you under center because they work a lot under center and play action.
All right, I want to get you guys thoughts on that. Ray, you want to start this one off?
I agree, man. Like I never get like all the things they decide to have them do. I mean, I get it to a certain extent, like you want to see them or what have you, but I mean, haven't you been scouting them since they've been in college? Yeah, so I don't, and it's a controlled environment. Like I don't really see what bearing that has on what they're going to do in live action. Just other stuff like the 40-yard dash and all that. I mean, I guess you got to put on some type of show. At least like in the NBA combine, you actually get them see them play like 5-on-5. Which is different than just doing things like this. So yeah, man, I don't think anybody has anybody that wasn't that wasn't in a place that they earned based off their how they performed in college did drastically different from whatever that is that they're going through. So yeah, man, it is. I could do without it. I'll leave it at that.
Malik.
Yeah, I agree with him. Really, just due to the concept that this is more of a generation that likes to push the button, see what alternatives you could find, and just really question everyday logic. And these are one of the things that have been at a plateau of just showing why it's important over the years. Like everybody said, you're throwing a receiver that you don't know on a cadence, on a pitch that's your pitch. But can you really go up by that? The guys that went up through that was that Zach Wilson. Those guys, look what they're doing. They can run across the field and throw it across the field 60, 70 yards. Just have a big arm, but that doesn't translate over into the game. You're doing we call these easy ups. But the NFL is indeed a business. It's a show, it's money. It's endorsements, it's deals. So that money will keep being printed and made. So I see why it's there. And I want to also agree with him that it really doesn't make it go up, but it can make it go down. If everybody drops every ball for your receiver, you drop every pass, it will definitely go down.
I tell you,
I think this is the epitome of right message, wrong messenger. I don't like any majority of the things that come out of Chase Daniels' mouth. So for me, it's a right message, wrong messenger. I could have done without him saying it, but I get it. I wholeheartedly also agree with Malik. It's a business. It's football is they want it year round as much as possible. So it's another opportunity for there to be some sort of professional football or aspiring to be a professional football player on TV, endorsements, money, things that are going to come from that. But while I think we all have that same consensus that it doesn't necessarily make you go up or down, but it does also, to his own credit and what he said, it does give people opportunities that they may not have gotten from their games. Like he said, he had an undrafted grade. He didn't have the career I'm sure he wanted, but he was an NFL player and made some money. So at the end of the day, it does help certain players, and the coaches are going to look at what they want to look at. Just like we know, like they talked about what Mendoza is not throwing. Does he need to? No. But there are probably some players that have lifelong dreams of being in the NFL, whether it be a lifelong backup or whatever it is that their career turns out to be. These are opportunities for them to get in front of people that they might not have opportunities to do. So I think it's both sides, but I will agree with the message, not the messenger. I don't like Chase Daniels.
so I wasn't sure. You're not a Chase Daniels fan?
Absolutely not. I,
Okay,
I, I hate that he even has a podcast. Like, take all of the podcasts away, the cameras, the microphones. Like, get him out of here. Like, I can't stand him. Anything he says has not. I really don't put any stock in. Like, I feel like anytime I see him on my TV, I immediately either turn it off or mute it. Like, stop talking, sir.
all right. I don't have too much to add. I get it. I think it's like that for several drills with the combine. However, I think it's the way the folks discuss it too. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the combine that is like I think you can take stuff from, but that's not the stuff they sell. So that's what is backwards to me. Like the stuff that you can actually take information from, that you can teams actually go, all right, well this checks out with this that I saw on tape. That's not the stuff they talking about. Instead, is look at the 40. Meanwhile, we're like a decade in on everybody got those little things around their chest where we can find out how many times you hit 20 miles an hour, 22 miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
23 miles per hour. We can chart that and see, and did you do it in like an 8 yard burst or a 10 yard burst or whatever the play might be. Like to me, that's more accurate than the 40. Like there's things you get from the 40, but like Malik said, it's about selling something. So we got sensationalized the 40, which is the craziest thing because silly me, like nobody does anything out of a track stance in football. So like that's cool that you can, somebody learn, say you ran track in high school, maybe you ran track in college too. Like you've been waiting for the combine all your life, but we turn the tape on, brother. You won 4.8, bro. Like pads, helmet, ball in your hand,
Yeah.
like a runaway fridge. Like not helping anybody. But we appreciate y'all as always, and man. Enjoy the rest of Combine Week. Wizards folks will see you later tonight and a couple more times this week as well. And don't forget to get over to thefocustv.com, and we will be back next week, same time, with another edition of the Focus TV